Hello, and welcome to another Landis Attendant Console for Microsoft Teams feature spotlight. In this feature spotlight, we're going to be talking about contact groups in Attendant Console. Depending how long you've been around the telephony space, especially as it relates to receptionists, switchboard operators, you will remember the legacy desktop operator console. And so this was essentially a desktop phone with a sidecar, or sometimes multiple sidecars. And these sidecars had buttons on them for the most frequently transferred to contacts. And so it was a way that you could just press that button to transfer instead of having to type in the extension number for that person. And in Attendant Console, we replicate that with our contact groups. And of course, the contact groups have a lot more functionality than that sidecar could ever deliver. But I'll show you the different types of contact groups and how they work. So here we have our contact groups, and these are the people that I could transfer calls to. And so I can divide them by different organizations do it different, by location, by department, by job title, whatever it is that makes sense within our organization to divide those groups out. There's two types of groups here, and they look the same when I click on them here, but they're different in how they were created and how they function. So the first kind is just kind of a quick on-the-fly way to create a group. If I want to create a group around Paul, I want Paul in this group, I would simply go to Paul, these three dots on his contact card here, and come down to Add to Contact Group. I can create a new group, and for this purpose, I'm going to call it a test group, and hit the check mark. Now I have a new group. It's named Test, and Paul is in it. And now I could search for other contacts and one at a time come through here and add them to that test group, and I could build out that group manually. So a perfectly fine way to quickly create a group, especially if it's a smaller group. But there's another way, a more powerful way to create groups. And for that, we're going to go into the settings. That's up here by my avatar, these three dots, and then settings. And then we'll come down on the left-hand side here to contacts. Now, here we have all the groups that I already have set up, and I could rearrange them. If I want them in a different order to group certain of them together, I could do that. I could edit these groups, and I could delete a group. But we're going to create a new group, and we're going to create a new search group. And so here we have where we can build out this who we want in this group. So first of all, we're going to name the group, and I'm going to call this group Global Sales. And then who do we want to show up into that group? So this is a search group. What we're doing is setting up search terms for the Attendant Console to go and search our company's Entra ID Active Directory and return the results that match. And so I could say everybody from a certain office location. I could say everybody with a certain job title, or I could combine these. I could make a group with the account executives from the effort location. And so I could divide whatever makes sense within our organization. For this case, though, I'm going to say everybody in a certain department. So I'm going to go Global Sales. We have a department here at Landis called Global Sales, and I'll hit the X here to save this. So now I have a new group. It's named Global Sales, and even though I didn't put any of these contacts in there, they're all in there because it is seeing everybody that has department as Global Sales, and it's returning all of those. And so the nice thing about these groups is that once they're set up, they don't need managed, because if we hire somebody tomorrow and they're in the global sales department, they'll automatically show up in this group. If somebody from this team transfers to a different department, they'll automatically show up in that other group. I never need to go in and make changes to these groups because they are a search group. Another place that these groups are very powerful is based around our visibility within Attendant Console of Teams presence. And so if I have a call to transfer to Paul, I can see at a glance whether he is available or in a call before I send him that call. But combining that visibility with the groups gives it even more power. So if I have a call for a certain team or a certain department, I can click on that team and at a glance I can say, okay, who do I have that I could transfer this call to over there? Instead of just blindly saying, well, I'll send it to somebody over there and see what happens, I can at a glance tell who I should be transferring to, who's available in that department. Then one more comment, more around best practices, and that is when you're setting up these groups, and this is especially as you get into larger organizations, you're going to have to be, or we would recommend that you be conscious of the group size. So the whole purpose of these contact groups is to be able to quickly find a contact and transfer to them, right? And so if, we can always search for a contact by name over here, but the idea of the groups is to be quicker than searching by name. And so if these groups get too large, this effort group, I believe, has right around 50 people in it, and that's fine. But if it would get like over 100 people, then it would be getting too large. I'd be spending too much time scrolling for it to the purpose of being quicker. And so keep in mind, so if you have a location and now you got too many people in that group, how else could we divide it? Could we divide it by department at that location or job title in that team, whatever it is that we can divide it down from there. If you have questions about setting up groups in your Attendant Console or would like to see a demo with all of the features, feel free to reach out to us at landistechnologies.com.